Human rights are not a privilege conferred by government. They are every human being's entitlement by virtue of his humanity, by Mother Teresa. Good morning, respected Vice Principal, teachers, and my dear friends. Do you know the importance of 10th December? Yes, we celebrate the Human Rights Day on 10th December every year. The day on which the United Nations General Assembly adopted in 1948 the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We can take action in our own daily lives to uphold the rights that protect us all and thereby promote the kindship of all human beings. So today, we the students of Grade 7 Marigold are here to present the Assembly on Human Rights. Let's first invoke God's blessing with a prayer. I request all of you to join your hands.
Nelson Mandela once said, "To deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity." Unquote. Human rights are rights which exist simply because we are human beings. To deny human rights to someone is to disregard the essence of their existence as a human being.
International Human Rights Day. Human Rights Day is observed every year on 10 December, the day the United Nations General Assembly adopted in 1948 the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR. The UDHR is a milestone document which proclaims the inalienable rights that everyone is entitled to as a human being, regardless of race, color, religion, language, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth or other status. 2021 theme: Equality, Reducing Inequalities, Advancing Human Rights. This year's Human Rights Day theme relates to equality and Article 1 of the UDHR. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. The principles of equality and non-discrimination are at the heart of the human rights. This includes addressing and finding out solutions for deep-rooted forms of discrimination that have affected the most vulnerable people in societies, including women and girls, indigenous people, people of African descent, LGBTI people, migrants, and people with disabilities, among others. Rebuild better, fairer, greener. A human rights-based economy can break cycles of poverty. Rampant poverty, pervasive inequalities and structural discrimination are human rights violations and among the greatest global challenges of our time. Addressing them effectively requires measures grounded in human rights, renewed political commitment and participation of all, especially those most affected. Rebuilding fairer, a new social contract. Human rights, including economic, social and cultural rights, are as well as the right to development and the right to a safe, clean, healthy and sustainable environment, are central to building a new human rights-based economy that supports better, fairer and more sustainable societies for present and future generations. Reversing vaccine inequality and injustice. Vaccine injustice through unfair vaccine distribution and hoarding contravenes international legal and human rights norms and spirit of global solidarity. The call for a common agenda and a new social contract between governments and the people is the need of the hour so as to rebuild trust and to ensure a life of dignity for all. Advancing the right to a healthy environment and climate justice. Environmental degradation, including climate change, pollution and nature loss, disproportionately impacts persons, groups and peoples in vulnerable situations. These impacts exacerbate existing inequalities and negatively affect the human rights of present and future generations.
Today, I'll be talking about all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. With Resolution 217/83, the UN General Assembly unanimously adopted a foundational document for all peoples and all nations on 10 December 1948, a day which is now observed annually as Human Rights Day. The first two articles of the Declaration set out rights and responsibilities that should apply to all human beings. Number 1. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with the reasons and conscience and should act towards one another in a spirit of brotherhood. Number 2. Everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social, origin, property, birth or other status. Everyone has a right to life, liberty and security, and the right to freedom of thought, conscience and religion.
The world should be a fair place where we can all live in peace and be free to think what we believe, no matter how different that may be. Our world should be a safe place where we can move where we want. In our country, be given care should we need social security. And that's the way it should be. If we stand up for our rights, you and me, then we'll be free to be, free to live, free to think, free to believe. But there are rules to follow, help us build a fair tomorrow. There are laws to obey, to protect our freedom every day. We can't help each other, let's value one another. No matter who you are,
human rights. You have human rights. Nobody should discriminate. We're all born equal and free. Let's stand up together against the abuse of every woman, man and child. And that's the way it should be. If we stand up for our rights, you and me, then we'll be free to sing, free to play, free to pray, free to believe. But there are rules to follow. Help us build a fair tomorrow. There are laws to obey to protect our freedom every day. We can help each other. Let's value one another. No matter who you are, you have human rights. You have human rights. Thank you.
All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. The 21st century has seen the highest material advancements recorded in the human history. However, inequality in access to resources based on gender, geography, health outcomes, incomes, wealth, etc. have been worsened in the 21st century. COVID-19 has actually pounded the wound of inequality by taking critical indicators of material progress to historical bad levels. The global inequality watchdog Oxfam has described the virus as inequality virus, where the rich people gained while the lower income group lost. I strongly believe that all children have an innate sense of equality, fairness and justice, and also confidence to voice their opinions. Thank you.